I have learned, which has helped me, it's never going to be like easy, ever. It's always been hard. But you just keep going. And then things happen and grow and change and evolve, and it feels right. It's been exciting getting to 1 million push-ups. I can't imagine what it will feel like to do the pull-ups, which are way harder, by the way.
Spartans, listen up.
We need to sleep better. So how do you sleep better? Never thought about it before. And so I met Jack, I met Essentia. Pay attention to the mattress you sleep on because it's loaded with chemicals.
Recovery, cooling, and pressure relief, all in one mattress. Up to 60% more deep and REM sleep. Less inflammation, faster bounce back. No toxins, no EMFs, no BS.
My buddy Jack over at Essentia, he's kind enough to give us a code for the Spartan community. That's DECA, that's Tough Mudder, all of us. Use Spartan 25, get a discount. Prioritize your sleep so you can sleep faster, you can do more burpees, you can train more, you can get healthier. When you sleep well, you live well.
Welcome to the Hard Way podcast with Joe DeSena, founder and CEO of Spartan Races. We're teaching you how to overcome your obstacles in your life the same way we teach our 10 million plus Spartans to overcome obstacles on the course, with insight from the smartest, most accomplished experts from every corner of the world. Get ready to elevate your life today.
Joe DeSena, CEO and founder of Spartan, host of the Hard Way podcast. I got my buddy Kevin Cullum on here. This guy is the ultimate fitness enthusiast, absolute lunatic, mindset. I would say like a galvanized mindset, twisted steel, 1 million push-ups over what period of time? Was it 5 years, 6 years?
It was 10 years.
10 years of consistent. How many push-ups is that a day?
The average actually is not that wild. It comes out to, I forget the exact number now. It comes out to like 250 a day or something like that. Something very doable. And that was kind of my whole point all along. Very doable stuff.
Most people don't do it though.
That's exactly it. Yeah. Incredibly doable, but you have to choose to do it.
So 10 years earlier, when you chose to do it, what did you have that number in mind? Or you just said, I wonder how consistent I can be for how long?
Yeah, it more started with the latter. I had heard somebody else that I knew through this job that I had that was recording the number of push-ups and sit-ups and all that he did. And I thought, well, why don't I do that? At the very least, it'd be cool to look back at a long time from now and see what I had done over the years. And then after a couple of years, I was actually trying to train to break the world record for most push-ups in an hour. And I started breaking my body, and I'm not a world-class guy. I was hoping to be a world-class guy, and it turns out I'm not. And so then I realized, well, I had done a lot of push-ups at the time, probably, 90,000, 100,000, something like that. And then I thought the whole message may be way more impactful to more people if I can just prove that you can accomplish big things without stopping, as opposed to trying to be this world record guy who, I'm not. I'm a normal guy. And so that's how it transitioned to that.
Isn't it funny? I was just doing a piece of content today about this idea of consistency and how powerful it is, but how few of us, have rituals and habits that keep us consistent and whatever those things might be. Why is that? Like you've now had a lot of time to think about it. Like why do most of us, we can't stick to our New Year's resolutions for more than 20 days?
I don't have any original answer to that. I don't think it's the same that you hear from time to time from the David Goggins of the world, probably from guys like you, that, it's so much easier to get the quick fix, the quick hit. And when you don't get that, it sucks. And it can be embarrassing. I mean, I spent a lot of time being embarrassed, truthfully, with what I was working on, but I knew deep down that there was something so much more important to it. Or at the very least, I knew that I would be proud of the effort. And so I thought, just keep going with it. And so I don't know where that necessarily came from or why other people struggle with it, but there is certainly just, we all have it to some extent. There's a desire to feel good, and it doesn't feel good to not succeed for a very long time. I've always been an optimistic guy personally. And so there's a big optimism piece with this. It probably came from my upbringing. But I don't know. I don't know why some people struggle to fight beyond that. Sometimes you want to, shake people, but you can lead a horse to water. You can't make it drink.
No, I mean, we're in the business, right, of trying to get people to be consistent, to stick to things. We're about to launch a health and wellness study. We want people to be consistent for a couple of 100 days. So I might get you involved in that because you are the expert, right? 10 years of consistency. And And most people can't string together 4 or 5 days. I argue you got to have a date on the calendar. You got to go public with it. You got to have accountability partners. Did you use any of those techniques in your journey?
I developed like a framework that I kind of live by, and this isn't something I sell or anything. So I would love to just share it here because it's just something I think about often, and I call it the hammer method. And each letter stands for something. So HAMM, and then it's RR. So the whole idea is H stands for hone. You got to hone in on like a specific thing. So for me, 1 million push-ups. The A stands for accept. And to me, what that means is you got to accept that anything meaningful will take a lot of time. So like that for me was hugely helpful. I knew that I'm not going to do 1 million push-ups in a year or 2 years, or 3 years, whatever. I knew it would be a long thing. So that was helpful. I accepted it. The first M is you make a plan. So my plan essentially was just keep freaking moving forward as often as I can and look for like these small milestones. So it was exciting the first day I ever did 500 push-ups. And then you start thinking, well, what if I did 600 in a day? And then it just keeps going up. That next M to what you're saying, accountability. The way I put it is make it known to the world. So I created an Instagram account in, I think, November of 2017 for that exact reason, to hopefully try to inspire people and motivate people. That was my whole thesis with all this. But also, I thought if I start putting this on Instagram, I started getting a few buddies that followed the account, which, initially I'm like, shoot, this is kind of embarrassing. But I thought to myself, it'll be even more embarrassing if I quit this. But if I stick it out and do the thing, then yeah, my friends might make fun of me, but it's like, well, you did it. So you got to make it known. You got to seek accountability. And then the RR. So that first R stands for record your progress. For me, that was massive. I still do it to this day. I record all sorts of stuff. The exercise I do, the water I drink, the time I wake up, because it holds me accountable personally. And at the very least, it's just cool to look at. Like I enjoy looking at my own activity from June 24th of 2019. I can tell you exactly what I did. And then the final R in that whole thing, the hammer method, is just to repeat. From my experience, it's like life changes all the time. When I started recording push-ups, I was a single guy. Now I've got 3 kids and I'm married. Life changes. You know that. I mean, you've got a big family and built companies and all this and that. Things change dramatically all the time. So I think I'm like you said the word expert, which I'm flattered by. I'm not an expert by any means, but I think that if we just like constantly kind of run through that cycle, whether it's my little hammer method that I use or whatever else, if we just constantly try to reevaluate where we're at, how we're doing, what we want to get, and like understand that it's never gonna, I have learned, which has helped me, it's never gonna be like easy, ever. I mean, I've listened to some of how you started Spartan and how that's all gone. I think, and would love your answer, I don't want to speak for you, it's always been hard, but you just keep going. And then things happen and grow and change and evolve, and it feels right.
I don't think there's anything worth doing that's not hard. That doesn't mean that every day you were doing the push-ups or every day I'm building a business, whatever it may be, that we're not questioning our existence and what the fuck are we doing? And does this even make sense? Right? Like you start to have all those doubts. People doubt you. People say that's dumb, but you just keep putting one foot in front of the other and you get through that day, right? And the next day and the next day and the next day. Then you wake up and you're like, you achieved something.
Totally. Well, and what's been so amazing to me over the years too, and I've got little kids, so I'm trying to instill this in them right now is like the power of momentum. You do like a little bit one day and then that pumps you up. And then you can do it. So then you're like, well, what if I did a little bit more? And I've not done the wild endurance type of stuff that I think you've done. And I've got my next door neighbor is a good buddy of mine. He runs these ultra marathons and does all that. I'm a huge fan of that stuff, but I've not fully done it. But I think that's the same in those things too. It's like you go a little bit further. Well, I mean, why couldn't I keep going? Like, what's the limit? I don't know if there is a limit. So it gets exciting. You start pumping yourself up and there's a momentum gain and it really takes over. And then now it's like, why would I ever stop? This is just who I am. It doesn't seem that cool anymore. It's just kind of what I do.
Your identity gets wrapped around that thing. I try to do that with kids. We have a kids camp, and since you have little kids, you might like this, but I'm always looking for moments when I'm around the kids to try to give them an identity around toughness, around resilience, around grit, around them not quitting, around them working hard. Because it happened to me. I remember I overheard my grandfather and my father talking just loud enough, maybe purposely. Man, he's a hard worker. And then that was it. I became a hard worker, right? You became a million push-up guy. You don't quit things. So, you find good values, good attributes, and you stick to them, or they stick to you. What's next?
Well, now I'm working on, on April 11th, date specific because it's not that long ago, I officially said I'm going to try to do 1,000,000 pull-ups. A lot of people over the years were like, well, what are you going to do next? Not a lot of people. Some people said, what are you going to do next? And I didn't know. I wanted to get the 1,000,000 push-ups done and just kind of see what happened. And then I was bouncing around with like, I don't know, do I just lay low now? Do I, try something else completely different? And this is kind of just what I'm into. Because like I figure it's good physically, I think. Although some people are like, dude, you're hurting yourself. But I don't know. You hurt yourself if you're laying around, right? So in one way, I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. It's a good fitness thing. It's also fun to set big goals. It's been exciting getting to 1,000,000 push-ups. I can't imagine what it will feel like to do the pull-ups, which are way harder, by the way.
I think almost everybody sucks at pull-ups. So what's going to be great about it, if nothing else, you're going to get really good at pull-ups.
And that's kind of the thesis, though, or not even kind of. That is such the thesis of what I'm trying to get at here, and what the push-ups started with, and now is just transitioning to the pull-ups is. I've got this saying that anyone can do anything, and I firmly believe it. If you work hard enough for a long enough period of time, you can accomplish massive things. And so that's what I'm trying to really prove here. That's what I set out with the push-ups and now the pull-ups. That when I started, I sucked. I'm an expert, to use that word. I'm an expert now compared to how I was 2 months ago, but I still suck compared to the serious pull-up people out there. But I imagine I will get really good at them over the years. And I knock on wood, assuming I don't die or get brutally injured or something, I will do it. It's just a matter of how long it will take me to do it.
Along the way, were there moments where you needed a mindset shift, where like even with all the tricks and tips and accountability, like something come up along the way where you're like, you know what, I got to shift my mindset?
Not really. Honestly, and that's probably not the exciting answer, but no. I was an anxious kid growing up, and so I was an anxious, skinny kid, and so I think I always had that like on my back of like, well, I got to overcome that. I don't want to go down in history as that. Whether or not other people thought that, I had that inside. So no, I think from the second I said I'm going to do 1,000,000 push-ups, I was like, it's all bets are off. I'm doing that. It doesn't matter. It was just inside. And I think it's, wanting to prove that I can do something myself, wanting to prove that I'm not this skinny, nervous little kid that I once was. So a lot of things happened. I mentioned I had kids, I changed jobs, I got injured here and there, but no, that was always sort of the North Star of that's what we're working on.
I got bad news for you. I think after the pull-ups are done, you're going to have to do 1,000,000 squats.
I know. It's funny you say that. I will do squats from time to time, like just air squats, and I mean, I almost feel sick a couple days after it because legs are a different animal. It's like I do all these specialized things, and so I have next to no strength in other areas, including squats, or whatever.
Well, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm thinking maybe what are you doing? 250 pull-ups every day now?
No, I can't even I'm not even to that yet. I mean, I did 120 pull-ups yesterday, and that's a pretty good day. I think the most I've done in one day is 175. But my body is, I've been pushing for 10 years. I have very little pull strength, very little back strength. So I'm building my base right now. The first year I did push-ups, though, I did 15,000, and that was in 2015. And so I'm using that a little bit as my framework now. I don't expect this first year to be a big year. It will be big for me, but not dramatically so. And then, I'll ramp up. And so we'll see if it works the same. I'm sure there will be differences, but so no, right? This month I've done 1,300 push-ups total in June, the whole month so far, which is, to people that are good at pull-ups, that's nothing. But to me, that's the biggest month ever. So I'm celebrating that win. And now I know that next month I'm going to try to go for 2,000 or whatever. And I'll just follow that path.
You have a nice pull-up bar, like gold plated somewhere with some good music and stuff, or?
No, for Father's Day, my wife got me a $190 pull-up bar off Amazon that's sitting out on our patio right now. But before that, for the few months before that, I have a pull-up bar in the back, unfinished part of our basement with insulation all over the place. And, people on the internet hate that because they're like, dude, you're going to kill yourself just from inhaling that. But anyway, so no, I don't have a glamorous setup, but that's also part of it. You don't need a glamorous setup. It's just, I got a freaking pull-up bar outside and I'm going to do hundreds of thousands of pull-ups on that thing.
Yeah, that's a big message for people. I remember, people will sit around and plan and organize and think and never do, right? Just do it. You might have a 2x4, you could do it. Hey, Joe, how do you do pull-ups on the road? I use a door in a hotel room if I have to.
Yes, it's so much of it, as you know, as you're well aware, just comes down to making the damn choice, And like has been such a breakthrough in my own life. Is like, it's amazing how, like, the hardest part from my experience with anything is just starting it. Like, even with push-ups, even now, I've done over 1 million of them, but I don't have a desire to go down and do push-ups. But if you do the first push-up, then you do 5, then you do 10, and then you're like, oh, I'm off to the races, because that momentum wheel kind of takes over. But to your point, yeah, it's like you don't have the ideal setup, but if you just choose to get started, it's amazing how it sort of takes off. You just have to start it.
You'll be happy to know I've met a lot of Olympians, neurosurgeons, neuroscientists, doctors, PhDs, you name it. And they say, just start. There are some Olympians I remember that said, look, I got to bike 6 to 7 hours every day on my bike. I got to swim 6 to 7 hours. I got to row. I don't want to do it, they've said to me. So what I do is I just start. And I'm just going to do a half hour. I lie to myself. And a half hour turns into an hour. Hour turns into 3 hours. And then I get the job done.
And it feels like that's the other thing I'm trying to push, and there are many people pushing this type of stuff, but I'm also, I'm trying to do my part the best I can. So I'm trying to get that message out. That was never spoken about to me growing up in school. I come from great parents and a great family. So I'm lucky, but they're also my parents. So, many things they would say would go in one ear out the other. And outside of my own home, I feel like I never heard that stuff. I'm 36 now. So, I feel like the first time I started hearing that was when social media really started kicking up, and you get the Goggins of the world or stuff that you'll put out there, and you start recognizing like, oh yeah, I'm in control. I choose if I want to do this or, to what level I do it. So I don't even know what got me on this, but yeah, you just get started. Well, with push-ups in particular, I've loved that. I've done push-ups all over the place. At the park with my kids, playing outside with my kids, in our basement with my kids, while I'm stirring meat sauce that my wife has made, before dinner. You can do it anywhere. My kids are getting ready for school and I'll do 10 sets of 15 or whatever, right? You just get them done. Now that I'm doing pull-ups, I do the same thing. I've got this new bar. I brought it outside. My kid's running around playing. I'm playing catch. Ball goes past my kid. I'll do a few pull-ups. So you just make time. I don't know. It's, again, I didn't come up with that line, but it's just true. You just make time. You fit it in. It might not be an hour workout. It might be 100 push-ups spread it throughout the day or whatever. But you just do a little, because a little over and over and over and over adds up to big things.
How do people find you?
My main spot is on Instagram. It's at 1 million _ pull-ups. And so there I'm just tracking my progress. I think I'm at 2,700 total pull-ups on my way to 1 million. So that's, for anybody counting, doing math, that's like 0.27% of the way there. And I had somebody leave a comment. You didn't ask this, but I'll share. Somebody left a comment the other day that was like, if you're going to reach this goal, you're going to have to drop a lot of fat. So that type of stuff I love, because it's like, all right, well, I will be screenshotting that, saving it forever, and I'll see you when I reach the goal.
Well, you're awesome. Thanks for coming aboard. Thanks for motivating people. Thanks for doing what you're doing. If everybody can become a little more like you, we'd have a better world.
You're nice to say that. I think if everybody just made a little choice to get started with whatever they want to do, we'd have a better world.